Welcome, everybody, to our plant show of the week, where we show you what we have learned, how the plants are doing, and just overall everything on plants. Hope you all enjoy. We'll see you in the end. Have a great one, everybody. Okay, here we are outside. Missy's doing her thing. Cows are over there. They just got fed, so they're enjoying their food for the day. Not a bad sunny day out. About 13 degrees out here. Got a few clouds rolling in and out here and there, but overall, not too bad. Now we'll come down here to the plants. And as you can see, the peppers are done. They did not survive the snow that we had over the last couple of days. Surprisingly, though, the daisies back here, they're doing really well still. Really green, they're growing. So we'll see what they do. We're not going to pull these. We'll see what happens. Now, let's see. Where did the dog go? There she is. Okay, it's time to go back inside and see what's going on with our indoor plants. Okay, so here we go. Now we're going to show you how the plants are doing. We're going to start over here with the trees. They've been doing pretty good, but they're not growing very much, as you can tell. They're still really, really small in there. So we'll see how they do. They're not doing the greatest. As for the lavender, I think we're going to end up repotting some of those. Maybe a couple more seeds, see how they do with the new lights. There's the borage. It loves this new light as well. It's growing really nice. So we'll see, hopefully, some flowers and stuff out of that here soon. Now the anise. Yeah, it's not doing the greatest, but I think I'm going to put in a couple more seeds. I really want to get that one to work, so we'll see what we can do there. Now we go up here. It's hard to see that pepper plant has changed a little bit. It's hard to see. You'll probably see more later. Chamomile, it's doing pretty good. And then we got the big pepper plant, the very first one to go into one of those new pots. It's doing very well. And there's the pepper. We got a nice big pepper in there and possibly a couple more coming here before we know it. Here we go with the other chamomile. It's not looking too bad. I'm hoping we'll see more out of these soon. Now here's the other pepper plant that we saved. Look at that big leaf and those three up there. Those are all new within the last couple of days. It is starting to grow really nice. Might actually take out that bottom leaf there. You see, it's not real healthy, so we'll see. And then there is the new hot pepper. It is growing very nicely already. So we'll see how it does. It is staying nice and tight. It doesn't appear to be stretching, so we might have it. We may have everything set up pretty nicely under here, so we'll see. Oh, right. The other thing, too, is air movement. You definitely need to have air movement. As you can see, I have our fans off at the moment. Don't need them on all the time. I'm going to be putting switches on this control panel, so that way, as you can see, they're unplugged at the moment. That way we can just switch them off instead of unplugging them. Be a lot nicer. Other thing too is I'm going to be covering up all those wires eventually with some 3D prints. That'll be down the road. Okay, yes, and you can see the fans on this side are unplugged as well. I'll probably be turning them on later, so we'll see. Now in for the hydroponic stuff that we're trying. Now, as you can see, the sweet basil, it's working, but I got a feeling we have an issue with air in the water. We don't have enough. We've been using the water in the kitchen, but it doesn't have an aerator. So that might be some of the issue we're having. So I'm going to be, after this video is done, I'll be changing that water out on that one to see if that helps. I don't know. It's not looking the greatest, but it's looking better than these down here. These are done. So we'll have to retry them again. But that's not a problem. We have a lot of cilantro, so. Now we'll come over here. Now, as you can see, we got one basil that's really tall, then a medium one, and then a little one. That little one I think we're going to keep and put into the other pot. These ones we're going to harvest and use in our cooking. And as for the cilantro back here, one of these four is going to be put into a new pot. I'm not sure exactly which one. The back two, actually this one up front here looks pretty nice too. So we'll see which one. And as I was doing this video, Tiff found out that this mint plant will go into hibernation. So we think that's what might be happening because the temperatures are cooling down. Even though it's still warm in here, it may be done for the year. I don't know. We're still trying to decide if we're going to repot it or not. We'll see. Then we come down here to the salad mix. It's looking real good. Probably end up harvesting that one as well and trying some more lettuce in there. There's the kale. Kale's doing beautifully. Looking nice. We're going to have some nice kale before long. I'll come over here to the spinach. It is doing really nice. I might even slap another seed in this pot too. I don't know. Might be too much. We'll see. But it's all looking pretty good. As you can see, the mist is really pouring out of those. So we get 4 misters going, it's really going to be coming out of there. So we'll see what happens over time. Okay, we're back inside now, and I figure we'd have a little talk about plants and what we have learned so far. As you have seen the setup that I've made, I did do red and blue and ultraviolet. Now they were working, they do work. I don't think they're hitting quite the right spectrums, so that's why I put in the white. For anybody else out there, I say you might as well just go straight white, which is what I'm going to do from now on. These ones were hard to find, so they worked, but they didn't work. So I'd say just stick with white, and you'll do fine. Now that I tried to make that panel way more complicated than needed, I'm going to be changing that at some point here. It's going to be much simpler. I also have to add a few more switches because of the hydroponics that I want to do down the road, but we'll get to that eventually. The Mister system is working really well. I'm going to be reprinting that up and making it much more efficient. Right now, there's a lot of air loss and a lot of mist that isn't actually coming out. Plus, we're going to add 2 more misters to it. The other 2 misters will put on a humidistat, so that way only when the humidity goes low will the other 2 kick on as a boost to keep the humidity level up around the plants and in this house. We're coming into winter. It gets very dry in here. It already is now. As you can hear, my throat's a little dry. So hopefully that'll work, but that'll probably be coming in the new year. That's a little ways off yet. I got quite a few other things that I want to 3D print for this system. So I'll eventually get to that here. Probably be the new year before I get a lot of this done. We do have some more pots for the other side of this, all printed out. That took a long time, 90 hours worth of printing to get that done. But they are done, ready to go. So we're going to put them in here. From what we're seeing, we're going to keep one of the basils and one of the cilantros and put them in the new pot. The rest we're going to harvest and use in our cooking and everything. We were going to say this mint, we might still try, but it looks like the mint is dying out. We may have to restart that one. And then we'll restart a few other plants. So in summary, with plants, pot size definitely matters. Your light matters on how much you put underneath. Oh, shoot. Water? Yeah, okay. Sorry, a little bit of a brain fart there. Oh, I shouldn't say that either. I say it all the time. Do you? Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, now I definitely have some editing to do. Bloopers to Oh, yeah. As you can tell, I don't do this very often. Okay, but as like Tiff was just reminding me too, the water, making sure your pH balance is around 6 to 6.5, we're finding works quite well. Have discovered that believe we may have hard water here, which might be causing some of our issues too. It is with our mister system. It looks like that might be causing a little bit of an issue. Right now, we don't have a carbon filter on our water system. That might help cut that down, but we'll see about getting one of those in the future. But anyway, water, definitely make sure your pH is good and it's filtered. Um, I'm thinking that soil might be another factor we're still having an issue with. We did get a cheaper soil, so we're looking into other soils, see what might be a little better than what we're currently using. Definitely keeping them watered. We're still having an issue. We're afraid of overwatering still, so we've been underwatering a little bit here and there. Okay, as for this power supply and control panel I'm talking about, as you can see, I do have a bunch of different numbers on there. Those are all the lights. The 11.5 to 11.6 is the fans when they're plugged in, and that is also the fan for the mister system. I'm going to be separating those in the new control panel, so that way we can adjust the fan speeds for the misters. Sometimes you just want a little bit of a breeze to help with the plants. You don't need full wind all the time. Inside here is a 12-volt power supply, 400 watt, and a 24-volt, 300-watt power supplies in there. Now, you don't see any 24-volt on there because right now they're only running the misters and the new white lights. The new white ones, I went with a 24-volt instead. I'm not sure which one I like better. The 24-volt means a smaller wire size is needed because it doesn't use as much amperage. So we'll see on that. As for the 30 there, that just shut off. That is the cooling fan on top that I installed to keep all the power supply cool. So as you can see, it just stopped. When it gets up to 32 degrees again, it'll kick on and bring it back down. I don't think I'm going to bother with adjustments on the lights anymore. They'll just be straight on or off. The new power supply will have a couple of those lights still in it. I'll have one for the 12-volt power supply and one for the 24 volts. That way I know they're putting out the proper power. And then the fans will have another one as well. So that way I know what power we're using for the fans. So that's just a little bit of the idea of what we're working on. We'll see how it goes over the winter. So hope you all enjoy, and we'll see you next week. And the stars of today's show go to Alex, Bella, Tiffany, aka Mommy, and last but not least, Chris, aka Daddy. So I hope you enjoyed the show. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in a week. Have a great one, everybody. See you next week.